Hi folks, hopefully this time at work. I just did a video, did the whole thing, 30 odd minutes, and then realised there was no sound. The thing about a laptop, it's a pain in the butt. Anyway, okay. What is it? Okay. No idea where to start here because I've now done two videos. Where one of them I did, which was perfectly good video, but because I then put a snippet. Actually, I'm going to do that video. I'm going to release it. I'm going to publish it and see what happens. Simple as that. Yeah. Okay. So I won't talk about anything I include in that. I mean, YouTube may very well delete the video if they do. I'll do another one of that stuff, I suppose. So the ones for today then. Okay, I was watching something earlier and it had something about Elvis Presley's granddaughter. So I watched a few videos because she looks very much like him. She takes after her mum, really, because her mum looks like her Elvis. You know, Lisa Marie looks very much like her dad. But there's a girl there, Lisa Marie, who, went through quite a bit. Because obviously when she was young, she didn't spend much time with her mum and dad because they were really, really, really busy. And her dad died. And it got me thinking about something I saw quite a while ago. I went through this silly stage of looking up on stupid videos. And there was videos talking about that they saw this and that person in hell. So I thought, I'll click on, see what they're on about. And I knew it was completely bogus. I'll explain why in a second. But they were saying that they saw Elvis and John Lennon and Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston all in hell. Plus a lot of other people. So, well, you know something? It's a case where all those people could very well be in hell. They could. They could indeed. Yeah, because of the fact you've got to be repenting. And you've got to keep repenting. Yeah, because if heaven is even slightly, as we're led to believe in the Bible, sin cannot inherit the kingdom of heaven. Can't go into heaven at all. So therefore, people have to repent. Simple as that. And unfortunately, people don't continue to repent all the time. Apologies, I've just noticed that picture. That looks weird. I don't know what's happened there. Again, laptop. Sorry. I managed to get some photos onto the laptop, which was an improvement on previous videos that I'd done. But that photo seems to be cut in half in that way, which is a bit odd. And since the focus is on the puppies, you can't see because that's the half that's been cut off. So I don't know why that's happened. That's a bit weird. But there you go. Computer went in yesterday, and I phoned up today to find out if there's any news. And apparently, it's the next one in line to be looked at tomorrow. So hopefully, I'll get that back fairly soon. Oh, sorry, yawning. It's 12:49 p.m. on the 23rd of the 4th, 2020. So it's very late. I'll take the dogs out again before bed. Just give them a quick run. I won't take them back at a ball this time. Just let them have a little run around, I think. There you go. Anyway. So yeah. Car needs a bit of work as well. The tyres, for some silly reason. They still use aluminium tyres or aluminium wheels, which causes the tyres to go down, to deflate. So the tyres have to be taken off. They have to be rubbed down with a bit of sandpaper, then re-greased, and then put back on again. And then apparently that will stop them from going down all the time. I'm not a car person at all. Normally I can fix computers, so that's why I'm annoyed about my computer. It's these new motherboards, they are insane. They're just so tetchy. Yeah. And if I was being slightly sexist, I'd say that they're bitchy, these new motherboards. They're just like, women on their time of the month. Which again, that's a joke. Excuse any offence. It's not meant as offensive in any way, shape, or form. It's just a way to try and explain away these new motherboards in a way that's understandable. And that's the nicest way I can put it, really. That's because some women can be a bit cranky at that time. Not all women, some can, but not all. And that is something that they certainly can do. Yeah. These motherboards are mad. But there you go. So, anyway, these videos where people say that they've seen people in hell. No. You wouldn't say those, because if God is going to show you hell, which generally speaking doesn't happen but sometimes does, first of all, God's not going to show you celebrities. The reason why not is because when you tell the story, then the horrific nature of hell is going to be somewhat watered down by the fact you mentioned these celebrities. And God's not going to want that to happen. He's going to want the full horrific nature of hell to be put across. He's not going to want any mention of any celebrities. So God certainly is not going to show you celebrities in that situation. And the devil would, because he wants to focus being on celebrities. He wants people to think, oh, if I go to hell, I might get to meet Elvis. I might get to have a little sing song with Elvis and Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston and John Lennon and George Michael and whoever else. Yeah, you might, folks, but I imagine there'd be a lot of screaming and pretty much off key. So I wouldn't want to go down that avenue if I was you. Yeah. No, there isn't an awful lot going on right now. Yeah. Oh, of course, yes, the video. Video I did yesterday, I'm going to add a link to that little bit of the what's it called? God knows what that thing's called. What is it called? It's called Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. I'll add a link to that clip of him talking about Copeland, or doing the Copeland bit. That way, if YouTube do take that one down, you'll still be able to see that, because that is disturbingly entertaining when you're looking at this man of God. But actually, looking at these pictures, that's another point that I mentioned in the video where there was no sound. You can see here, you've got the 5 dogs. There you've got 2 lots of duvets on the floor. And now, that situation, that picture was probably done about a year or 2 ago. No longer than that. Probably about 18 months ago. Now, there's probably about 6 duvets down there. So the reason why I'm saying about that and the change of that, and you're seeing other ones, I mean, that duvet there is still in the pile of duvets, but it's right at the bottom. That's an old duvet that used to be in Chewie's kennel. And so, yeah, that's still there. But you see other pictures here of there's a wooden box in the room. That used to be the birthing box, or the box where mum and babies would go, until I realised they can't stay in here at all because they're too noisy. Because when I need to sleep, I'm sleeping in the same room. And puppies, when they feed, make one heck of a noise. They really do. Next to the bar, it's already been October, and what I will do is I'll do a video with the puppies in here feeding from mum. and you'll be able to hear just how noisy the puppies are. And they are incredibly noisy. So you imagine that happening at 2 in the morning, and then at 3 in the morning, at 5 in the morning. You can't sleep during it. Well, especially as the occasional pup gets moved away from mum and they're trying to get back, and they're crying because they're away from mum, and all of it just wakes you up. You can't sleep. So that box didn't last very long. I moved it out fairly quickly. So now they're either in their kennel outside, it's warm enough. Oh, sorry about that. Or they're in the shower, depending upon the time of the year. But the reason why I mentioned all of that, the reason why I mentioned the last video where there was no sound actually, is because of the fact I was talking on the one yesterday about the fact that God hasn't really helped to move the church forward over the last 10, 20 years. Now, my situation here, I'm responsible for these. They are under my care. They can't do these things themselves, they need my help. Exactly the same as we are under God's care. We can't do anything without his help. Nothing at all. He has to do a lot of stuff for us because we just can't do it. We just can't do it. Same as these dogs, they can't do it. They can't make their own beds because they will never have a clue how to do so. They can't go and buy duvets to put on the floor for their beds. They don't have money, so I have to do that. I have to provide that for them. Same as God has to provide things for us. It's like the example I gave yesterday in that video that I will post. We need God to provide for us so that we can then give everything to him, because we know that we don't need to worry about us because God's taking care of us. At the moment, it does seem very much that we need to worry about us because God isn't taking care of us. We have to. And that means we don't give the money. So I've not tithed for a long time. I'm planning to tithe this time from the money I've got from puppies. I'm now going to a churchy thing. Well, when the virus isn't here. Spoken about in other videos. Once a month we go to this thing, the Saturday night thing, and so I can tithe the money to there. I've not been anywhere for years, so I didn't have anywhere to tithe the money to. But also another reason why I've not tithed is because I really can't afford to just give away, £500. Because every single time when we get to the point of having puppies, I'm running out of the money from the last litter. Yeah, that money's gone. But 2 months, a month before, the money comes in for the next litter. The money starts coming in, I've run out of money. I'm running on empty. And so that means we don't want to give money away because we're struggling. Now, we shouldn't be struggling. Now, part of the problem is that we need to tithe. We need to give that money to God. It's God's money. 10% really is his. We need to give as God intends us to give as well. So, but then when we do that, we really do need God to step forward and to provide for us, to cover the loss of what we've just given. We need God to help us with all that stuff. And that's the thing, is that most people, including me, are struggling with that, struggling with the idea that God's going to do that. We can trust God to do that. And the reason it's quite simple is that when we prayed, like when I prayed for things, when I prayed for my car to be sorted out, for me to get the license back, I felt God was saying it would be sorted out quicker than I expect. And then instead of God helping, God, if anything, has made things worse by allowing GP to muck up the first form and then have to do it again. And of course, the coronavirus comes right at this exact time. Or they revoked the license right just before the coronavirus was going to come. And so, I'm paying road tax for a car I can't use. I'm paying insurance for a car I can't use. So again, it's a case where money is just floating away on something just sitting out there. And one thing is, when it needs its new MOT, it should fly through the MOT because it's going to barely be used. But all these things are frustrating. They're irritating because you trust God to help you to deal with it, and God says, "No, do me." It's like I said on the one yesterday. You take the step of faith, and you expect God to just catch you, and God says, "No, I'm going to let you hit your head a few times as you're going down. I'm going to let you have some bruises and bumps, and maybe a couple of broken legs, and then I'll catch you. I'll make sure you don't die, but I know you to get hurt a few times." And that would be okay if then teaching followed. If then you had a better understanding of, okay, what you did wasn't the way it should have been done. You should have done things this way instead, and that would work better. And generally speaking, how often do we walk away with a whole new level of understanding? Or how often do we just move on from one crap thing to another with no real level of understanding or saying, okay, I've learned something from that. God's taught me something from that. I can see why God allowed that to happen. We need that. We need to see why God is allowing things to happen. We need to understand that. Otherwise, what is it? Is God looking out there, and is God doing the same thing with us on a minor level as to what he did with Job? Is he having little bets with the devil? You push him a little bit. See if you can push him away from me. I mean, if you've got no understanding of why God is allowing things to happen, then there's going to be a lot of questions as to why God is doing these things he's doing. Because unless you've learned something, I mean, if it's done for you to learn something, then you've got to have learned something. Otherwise, it was just pointless. I mean, it's almost to the point of being, you look at it, it's almost cruel, really. You put through crap because you need to learn something, but then no lesson comes. You have to say, well, come on. There's got to be a lesson. If we're supposed to learn, then come on, teach us. As I say, it is what it is. We've got to gain better understanding. And so, but that's where we've got this time. But even if we've got 2 weeks left of this lockdown, a pure lockdown, take the time, get to know God better, get to know his ways and his will better. You might be someone who can answer a lot of these questions of people. But through you learning, through your understanding, you might be someone who can answer the questions. Because it's like, you look at these people of God, like the Kenneth Copeland, the Rick Godwin, and the whatever the other chap's name was. It is late now. It's just gone 1 a.m. So it's getting quite late. But if you look at those people, they don't give the answers to the frustrating life that most Christians have. They don't give a way out of that. What they give is like, like Mr. White, he says, you just go out and pray for people. And if they're not healed, just go out next day and pray for people. If they're not healed, just go out next day and pray for people. If they're not healed, just go out next day and pray for people. No, excuse me. It worked for you because of the fact that God did loads of things for you. God took away all of your addictions. God took away all your crap. God put the right people around you to give you the strength you needed. God then walked you into that ministry and walked you through it and met you through it. Now, there are a lot of people that aren't called to that ministry who then start going out into that ministry and nobody's healed. It's going to damage their faith and the faith of every single person they pray for when nothing happens. How is that going to be beneficial? Yet we're, as I said before, we are an army of God. We're supposed to be soldiers in a war, a spiritual war. We need to be trained by God before we go into battle. Now, different people need different lengths of training. And that's the thing, folks. A lot of us are, the training is taking years to do. Now, we've got to hope the training is taking years because, there's going to be so much to do. We've got to hope that, it's because, our responsibility levels are going to be so high. The level of importance of what we have to do is going to be so important that it's been taking years to train us. Otherwise, oh dear. Who knows, eh? But there's a lot to do, and certainly in the future, I've got to start doing a few more videos about the last days and all that sort of stuff, and what we need to see really in the last days, and what I believe that God has told me we need to see in the last days. That's Riley. He's a handsome boy, isn't he? Little smiley Riley. Oh, you heard me. They always do. That's my number 5 doggy. A little baby. He heard that. He's trying to come for a cuddle. Right, that's it, folks. I will leave you to it for now. I say that it's a bit of a waffle, bit of wandering there. So yeah. It's all fun and games. You take care. God bless, and I will speak to you soon. Have a good one, and enjoy the rest of your week. I might speak to you before the week is up. I might not. Don't know. You take care. God bless. Bye-bye.